how do you want to be remembered? What is your legacy going to be? Because there's so many trophies to be won. You know, every league, every game you play in, there's a winner and a loser. Every year there's a winner of a league. Every year there's, you know, a winner of a cup. But when you're done, and the people around you, how you made them feel, and the person you are, I think matters the most.
Season 3 of the Plant Strong podcast explores those Galileo moments where you seek to understand the real truth around your health and dare to see the world through a different lens. This season, we honor those courageous seekers who are paving the way for you and me. So grab your telescope, point it towards your future, and let's get plant strong together. All right, gang, is it just me, or is everyone else out there just pumped up and over the moon excited about the Olympic Games? They are kicking off this weekend, and while they may look and feel a little different from years past, I know that you're going to agree that it is fantastic to see the best athletes in the world back out there doing what they love doing, competing on the global stage. I'm Rip Esselstyn, and I want to welcome you to another episode of the Plant Strong podcast. My family and I love watching athletes competing at the highest levels, especially Plant Strong athletes who are simply dominating in their sports right now. Last weekend, Novak Djokovic won Wimbledon. It now means that he has won 20 Grand Slam titles. He's tied with Rafael Nadal and Roger Federer at 20. He won Wimbledon, and he only dropped 2 sets the whole tournament. 1 set in his first match and 1 set in his last match. And he attributes a large part of his success in tennis to a plant-based diet, giving him the focus and the stamina that's necessary in this very grueling sport. And also, right now, we have the NBA Finals going on between the Suns and the Milwaukee Bucks, and Chris Paul, who's leading the charge with the Phoenix Suns, is plant-based, and I got my fingers crossed that they're going to be able to pull it out. We'll soon see. All this to say that I am beyond thrilled to bring you today's guests who are competing at the top level of professional women's soccer, Toni Pressley and Allie Riley of the Orlando Pride. They're both using their platforms to promote a plant-strong diet, both on and off the field, and earlier this year, they launched their own cooking show called Gone Veg. It's on the I Am Athlete YouTube channel. And this conversation was really exciting for me. I learned how they got to know each other and how in a very short period of time they connected on their mutual love of whole plant-strong foods to create this show and bring the power of a plant-strong diet to a wider audience. I can tell you, as a former professional athlete who's been waving this flag for years, it wells me up with great pride to watch this new generation of athletes use their platforms for so much good. These Girls Gone Veg are inspiring millions of people of all ages, especially, I think, the younger generation, about living and dreaming big and pursuing their goals. But they are also teaching their fans how to live a whole life of health and vitality with foods that will fuel them for peak performance at any age. Fueling for performance is something that I am intimately familiar with. Whether I am recharging after my morning master's swim here in Austin, or if I'm gearing up for a big family hike through the green belt, or frankly, if I'm just got a huge day at the Plant Strong World headquarters, oats are always a key ingredient in my morning bowl. If you haven't tried our new PLANTSTRONG granolas, you're missing out. We just launched these 4 guilt-free flavors in June, and members of the community have been literally gobbling them up. They come in classic oatmeal raisin, all-American apple pie, tahini chocolate chip, and crisp mixed berry crumble, which incidentally is what I had this morning over my Rips Big Bowl cereal. All are handmade in small batches. They're date sweetened, no added sugar, oil-free, and 100% whole grain. Simply toss a bag in your backpack and you'll be always prepared when hunger strikes. Simply head over to our website at plantstrongfoods.com and pick up a sampler pack of these 4 all-new varieties while they're available. Can't wait to hear which one is your favorite. Now, another announcement, if you haven't heard, our 10th anniversary Plant Stock celebration is online and on sale. Grab a friend and join us virtually from September 8th to the 12th as we honor all the progress that's been made over the last decade with the science, with the food, and with the movement as a whole. It is nothing short of phenomenal what has happened. This will be the perfect way to invite that family member who desperately needs a green leafy intervention to come take a drink from the fire hose and learn everything they can about the why and the how of Plant Strong living. And in honor of our 10th anniversary, and as part of my mission to reach as many people as possible with the good news about plants, group tickets are just $10 a piece when you buy 5. $10 gets you access to life-changing information to help start or strengthen your Plant Strong journey. Our lineup this year includes the ultimate Brock stars. Can you say T. Colin Campbell, Caldwell Esselstyn, Dr. Michael Greger, Dr. Michael Clapper, Christy Funk, Will Bolshewitz, the Shurzais, the list goes on and on and on. Don't miss out. Visit plantstrong.com/plantstock to sign up today. Please welcome the stars of Girls Gone Veg and stars of the Orlando Pride, Allie Riley and Toni Pressley. So, Toni and Allie, I want to welcome you guys to the Plant Strong podcast. Love having really powerful, athletic, beautiful women that are going Plant Strong, that are doing the veg thing, and that are paving the way for, and I'll just kind of keep this, maybe to your audience, but I know it goes way beyond women and girls, but to me, it's so important that the younger population can see you guys as role models that are eating this way, and you guys are like thriving like never before. And so what I'd love to do over the next 30 to 45 minutes is talk about your journeys, each one of you, Toni and Allie, how you guys came to become such great friends and the genesis of Girls Gone Veg, this really fun show that you guys have got going on. And then of course, how going predominantly plant-based, because I know that Allie isn't 100%.
Yeah,
Toni, you got to get on her.
Yeah, maybe after this podcast,
I try to send her videos and
she sends me all the
documentaries here and there.
Oh yeah,
I'm trying.
Yeah. Did you send her the Game Changers?
Oh, seen it. I loved it. That was a big step in my journey. So definitely.
Been there, done that.
Yeah.
Good. So you guys can decide who starts out, but I'd love to hear first your journey towards Allie going, predominantly vegetarian veg, and Toni going like all in plant-based.
Okay.
Yeah. So for me, I have enjoyed trying different diets just kind of to challenge myself and to see if there's anything that could unlock, that little extra bit of potential in terms of my game. And I was eating kind of a mix between vegetarianism, paleo when I came to Orlando last year. and just mostly enjoyed cooking, hosting, sharing food with friends. And I was told upon arrival that I would connect immediately with this girl, Toni Dion Presley.
And how long ago was that?
This was last February.
So not too long.
No, we have only known each other for about a year, which is crazy.
And just because, and I'll say this in the intro, but for people that have no idea, what kind of athletics you guys participate in.
Right.
And when you say we met in Orlando, or
yes, okay.
So what professional sports team are you guys on? And tell us that.
Okay, so we're professional soccer players who play for Orlando Pride. And I had been playing in Sweden, in England, and in Germany. And Toni's partner and I had played together in the US and in Sweden. So when I signed from Bayern Munich to Orlando Pride, I knew there were some familiar faces, Alex Morgan, Ashlyn Harris, that I had played with before, and Marta, of course, the best player in the world. But no one was talking about them. Everyone was saying, when you come to Orlando, you're going to connect with Toni because you have the same energy, and she's an amazing, amazing cook. And she just, I had an Instagram account called Love to Eat to Love, posting all different types of recipes, lots of just healthy food, but no particular diet. They're like, wait till you try Toni's vegan food. And I had heard that she had also convinced Marta, my good friend, who I know as this meat lover. She would roast a whole chicken for me, doing all these cheesy, heavy dishes, amazing traditional Brazilian dishes. And I had heard that Toni had turned her vegan. So I was so excited to meet this Toni. And we honestly just
Let me stop for a sec. So Marta, who you said she's one of the best female soccer players.
6-time FIFA best player in the world.
And what team is she on?
So she's also in Orlando and plays for Brazil.
Okay.
Yes, but had been playing in Sweden, and we also played together back in 2010 and 2011 in the former professional league here in the US. And then the league folded. We both went over to Sweden, ended up on the same team there as well. Then she ditched me for warmer weather and met Toni here in Orlando. And I was still playing at Chelsea and Bayern Munich, and then followed her to Orlando and met Toni.
And so you guys, so Marta is now plant-based as well?
100%.
Wow. Yeah.
Woo! The best player in the world. And Alex Morgan is also predominantly vegan, and another one of the greatest players right now, and making a huge impact. So we have a good gang going on Orlando Pride.
Love it. I'm sorry. So I interrupted when you were just talking about connecting with Toni.
Right. Okay. So I met Toni, and we hit it off, and we're training, but also talking about, have you tried this? And let me bring you this. And so we're kind of bringing each other different little treats we were making at home. And it was fun for me to try her food I would never have known was vegan. These cakes and cookies and pastas and incredible bolognese, these dishes. And then I was trying to get creative and wanted to impress my new friend, of course, and tweak some of my recipes to be vegan. And it opened my eyes a lot to how actually easy it could be. And then COVID hit. So we couldn't cook together. We couldn't spend time together. So Toni would drive over to the apartment where I live and leave like tinfoil packages of treats she was making. And I would bring things over to her and like drop them off. So we started this connection. We'd send selfies of us like trying each other's food. And like we made this TikTok video of us like making a cake together. So we just started like having all these ideas. And then when we finally could connect and start training together again, when the protocols changed and we were getting tested, we were comparing notes, and Toni was like, Allie, let's do a cookbook. We have all these recipes. She's an amazing photographer as well. And then I'll let Toni explain how that kind of continued on to become a show. But yeah, so Toni just really inspired me to take it a step further to basically 80%, 90% vegan, or at least vegetarian. and I love it. And her food is amazing. And she assures me that mine is too. But we've had so much fun cooking together, creating videos and content, and just encouraging our teammates to try it. And just, I think it's cool because we have that mix of Toni, who went cold turkey. It's funny that's called cold turkey when you don't eat turkey, but
we've changed that. From now on, you need to use the term cold kale. We went
Cold
Wait,
kale.
she went cold kale. She went cold kale. And she's that person for me who gives me tips and advice. And I know she'll tell her story about who that person was for her, but it's never too late, you know, and it's fun. And I think it's cool that we have this relationship where I'm in that position and encouraging my friends and family. If you can do it once a week, if you could do it twice a week. And my partner, Lucas in Sweden, he's a meat lover, and you know, he's slowly getting these ideas and trying things and not being afraid. And Toni's been a huge part of that. So she's been my inspiration, and seeing how strong she is and how, I mean, her skin is glowing. She has all the energy, and it's been rubbing off on me. So that's kind of how I've ended up here. And I think Toni has a really cool story and how it's changed her, and then how it became Girls Gone Veg.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear. Toni.
All right. So wonderfully done, Allie. Like, I love you so much. So I became a vegan in 2016, and the new term we're going to use went cold kale. So I went cold kale. I had been mainly cooking for myself vegetarian meals at the time. And I was just so curious about the vegan diet. I saw, you know, there are a few restaurants in Orlando that were exclusively vegan. And I was like, well, it doesn't seem that much different than being a vegetarian. So I'm going to do it. So I gave myself like a little challenge and went cold kale in my off season, and our nutritionist for the Orlando Pride was extremely helpful, just in making me mindful of, you know, certain supplements I might need to be taking, my B12, my iron, things like that. And I think just my love of food and cooking is what really helped me to go cold kale. I love to,
I love it.
put it on a sticker.
Yeah.
I love experimenting in the kitchen. I love figuring out like, okay, like I can't use this milk. What milk can I use? I can't use cheese. What can I use to kind of replicate this creamy factor in a pasta? And yeah, it was just exciting. And then I think as I dove deeper into this diet and was training, and I was noticing all the beneficial effects my body was having, the beneficial effects in terms of like my performance, I was like, whoa, this is like, there's like really something to this. I was sleeping better. I dropped some weight. I leaned out. I was less sore between sessions. And I was like, this is like, not only is it fun, I feel like truly like I'm helping my performance, I'm helping my body, I'm helping the planet, I'm helping animals. Like there's really no going back for me. So yeah, that happened in 2016.
Now,
and then
can I ask you this? So that happened in 2016, but it was something that led to you like looking for this in 2016, because usually people don't just wake up and go, oh, I think this might be an interesting path.
I think initially I was just really curious. I like saw the word vegan and I was like, well, you're already cooking like vegetarian. Why don't you just try it? So I think honestly, curiosity was just my main factor. And then obviously when I saw what it was doing for my performance, I was like, wow, this is like really awesome. And then over time, just learning about the effects on the environment and animal welfare, I was like, all right, like this is really like your lifestyle now.
Yeah. Yeah. So so you mentioned Toni, your nutritionist was supportive of this. That's, you know, from when I talk to a lot of people, usually doctors, nutritionists are not supportive of this because they don't have all the knowledge. Your nutritionist though was.
Yeah, she was extremely supportive and helpful. And, we get blood work done all the time, all of us. And she's always like, you need to up your iron. You need to make sure you're diligent in your supplements. And I'm extremely grateful for her help and that she was so open to this,
Yeah.
and kind of guided me along the way. And yeah, it's been really awesome to have her in my corner.
Fantastic. And what, Allie and Toni, what do your family and friends think of transition? Are they supportive, or are they giving you a lot of crap?
I would say they're really supportive. I try to get my family to eat a bit more on the vegan side, at least, when I know I can cook for them, they'll eat it for sure. And I always try to make them foods that they're familiar with. So I'll make my grandparents like a lentil sloppy joe or something that they can kind of connect with, so it's not so daunting or scary for them. And I think they like it. I think my grandma is trying to be a bit healthier, and I'm like, okay, well, why don't you use, I don't know, this kind of butter, or try this milk, or so I'm trying to like sneak little items in there, and then my grandpa won't know, so I'm just like, just put it in his food. He'll never know. Don't tell him.
Yeah. Yeah. How about you, Allie?
Yeah, I think my partner definitely is the most reluctant. My parents, they love barbecuing, but the thing is, when you describe the dish or say what something is called, like if you're like, oh, a lentil bolognese or whatever, they don't necessarily respond. But when they see the photos that Toni takes and they see us doing the videos, see, one, how easy it is, two, how appetizing and delicious it looks, and how familiar it looks, then they're like, oh, okay. And then once they try it, it's seriously, it seems like you just have to get people to try it and they like it. So it's like, I feel like that's the biggest like obstacle, because Lucas, we have this great place, a Winter Park Biscuit Company, and I took him there, and he's chowing down on this like chicken sandwich and having the fries with the cheese and the bacon crumbles. And then I have this photo and I'm like, yeah, this is vegan. And he's like,
Yeah.
and he couldn't believe it, and he loved it. And Toni too, preparing, corn, and we've done enchiladas, we've done risotto, we've done so many, and then the desserts too. And it's like, that's kind of an easy transition piece too, where it's like, you're gonna love this cake, it tastes exactly the same. Well, why not make it without eggs, without any dairy? And we also like to sneak some tofu, veggies in wherever we can, so you're getting even more nutrients. So I think, yes, seeing the content, seeing the photos has helped a lot. And then once anyone just takes a bite, they're totally convinced.
Yeah. Did and were you so inspired and you had such a love for all this? Did you get a degree in nutrition? Is that correct?
So I have a certification from the Institute of Integrative Nutrition. So that was, again, I was in Sweden and I really wanted to learn about nutrition and see maybe if I could also help other people, what I could do with my time and my energy. And I learned a lot, especially about nutrients, and also about speaking with other people about their health journeys and their wellness journeys. So that was my first kind of introduction into not just eating, but like talking about what I eat, and maybe helping people if they want to change something, or they don't have energy, or just something like, oh, try drinking water when we wake up, or some lemon juice. And that was really cool. And I also met so many incredible people in that course over, it's all online. But, one of my classmates was in Mexico and wanted to lower the obesity in children. And there was a cancer patient, and just, it really opened my eyes to how much health and wellness, I'd always thought so much more about lifting weights and trying to run more and those kind of things, and hadn't thought as much about nutrition and recovery, even something like sleeping, how all of that can actually impact me. And I think it was then I started eating more vegetables, more fruit, less sugar, more carbs, because I had already always heard the like, oh, you don't want to eat a lot of carbs, it makes you fat. And finally learned something about it. And got so much more energy. And that's something that has been the biggest change. I don't think maybe decreasing meat, I've noticed as much a difference, but increasing carbs and increasing eating the rainbow and more vegetables.
Yeah. So just to clarify for the audience who's listening right now, when we're talking carbs are not a bad thing as long as they're unprocessed carbohydrates, right? As opposed to the processed carbs that 90% of Americans consume,
right?
That, have the water taken out, have most of the nutritional integrity removed. But explain, either Toni or Allie, what are we talking about here when we say like unprocessed carbohydrates?
Sweet potatoes are like my number one. I love sweet potatoes. I love quinoa. Toni, you have some cool grains.
Yeah, I like farro. I love my gluten-free oats. I love sweet potatoes as well. Yeah.
And fruits. We love all the fruits.
I heard Toni say her lentil sloppy joes. We love lentils.
Yes. Yeah.
We love legumes.
Yeah.
A little bit of, they're all fantastic. So you guys have done a lot of international travel over the years. How difficult is it to eat this way when you're on the road? And how do you do it?
I would say now it's not so difficult. I think in the beginning of my vegan journey, I would, when traveling, always make sure to come prepared, right? Because I didn't really know what airports would have in terms of options for me. So I would always come prepared with snacks and like maybe bring a salad with me and things like that in bars. And I think, as my time here in Orlando has just gone on, our team administrator is so good about when we go to certain hotels or we're on the road, she's so good about making sure that, we're taken care of, that we have the vegan options that we need, that we have, our protein and such. So, and I think it helps too, that now we have a lot more people who are eating this way, and even people who aren't necessarily vegan, they will still take some of those options, which is really cool to see. But I think, it's gotten easier. I think I always still try to be prepared because you never know what can happen, delays in the airport, things like that. And I just don't want to be left hungry.
Yeah. No, a hungry stomach makes kind of cowards of us all. And so I don't like being in that position, although I have, and it's like, okay, I'm just going to do a little fast here, a little.
Just drink some water.
Yeah, on this airplane ride. You guys, so what are your strengths as soccer players? Are you guys defenders, offenders, middle women? What are you?
We're defenders. I'm a fullback, so I'm a runner, and Toni is our beast in the middle and wins all the headers, does all the tackling, and is like our solid, definitely a center back. Well, she was a forward as well. I shouldn't, can't forget that. She was a Mac Herman. That's like the highest accolade you can win in college soccer. She was on the watch list for Mac Herman as a forward. But I just run up and down. I just run.
I just try to stop goals from
Toni
being
has
scored.
the power. She can probably kick the ball like the length of the soccer field. So, yeah.
That's spectacular. I used to play soccer in high school, and I never liked heading the ball because it always hurt my head afterwards. I would get like a headache. You might have a really hard head, Toni.
Maybe just stubborn. Just keep doing it over and over again.
Yeah. And which is one of you lefty and left-footed?
That's Toni.
I'm naturally left-footed, but Allie has a really good left foot as well.
Oh.
I injured my right ankle really badly. Like I couldn't use it, but I couldn't stop playing it. Long story. So I just had that taped up. So I just like only kicked with my left. And eventually after a couple of years, my left foot became, decent.
Yeah. Well, it's nice when And you can become ambidextrous with the right and the left
It
foot.
is. It is. It's helpful because I came here as a left back, and then the last 3 games I've been playing right back. So, you want to play, so you're like, put me wherever you need me.
And you guys have been playing. I mean, I heard you say earlier, I think, Allie, that you were playing. You guys have been playing since what, 2010?
Yeah, well, I'm a little bit older than Toni, but yeah, we both. So I graduated from Stanford, got drafted into the league here, and played for 2 years. And then the year that Toni was drafted to come into the league folded. So she went off to Russia. I went off to Sweden. Toni's also played in Australia. So we've really been all over the place. But then Toni was here for when Orlando formed the team. So she's one of the originals and definitely a fan favorite here. So I'm new because I came last year, as I mentioned when we met, but we couldn't play the season because of COVID. So this is my I've only played, I think now 5-6 games for Orlando.
Wow. What's the vibe like? You like Orlando?
I love it. I mean, the team is great. We've obviously, to have that balance of the soccer and the training and the meetings and gym and the hard work, but to have this creativity and this side now as business partners with our show, to be able to have that balance has been so good for me. And we're undefeated on this season, so it's been a great start. And I mean, not just how the games are going and the results, but also what we're doing as a team. And that's part of our show as well. Obviously we talk about food, but being strong female role models, talking about gender equality, talking about pay equity, talking about social justice. And that's something important to our team as well. And I think we are using our platforms as much as we can, and learning from each other and doing research, raising money, doing whatever we can for some very important causes. And that's been probably my favorite thing so far about being on this team. I feel very inspired and motivated, and really happy to use my platform, not just to inspire young girls to pick up a soccer ball and play sports. That's also important to me in terms of body image and health, but also what's going on in this country, what's been going on for hundreds of years. I think it's important for us as athletes too, to use our platforms to talk about things that aren't just sports. So, and we do that on Girls Gone Veg as well, but it's been mentally and emotionally challenging, but really rewarding being on this team and in this community.
Yeah. Bravo. How many teams are there in the National Women's Soccer League? You guys have any idea?
We have 10, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah,
10.
we have 10.
Got it. So you mentioned, and now we got to dive into it. You mentioned Girls Gone Veg, this show that you guys started. If I'm not mistaken, it just launched like May 7th, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So tell me a little bit about the show, what platform you're on, and who are some of the guests that you're having on?
Yeah, take it away, Toni.
All right. So Girls Gone Veg. It's Allie and I cooking together with a guest on the show. And we kind of, we like to describe it as not your average cooking show, right? Where, of course, we're there to describe and to show this amazing recipe, but we also have a guest on in which we can kind of dive into them a little bit, get to know them, what's important to them, and have like the most fun that we can. We want this to be light and fun to watch. And we want to showcase some really good recipes. We are on the I Am Athlete YouTube platform. So Brandon Marshall previously reached out to me, maybe thinking that we could have been business partners. We could work together in some aspect in terms of his brand of House of Athlete. And then I mentioned to him that, Allie and I were in the midst of making a cookbook, and he was so interested in that. And he was like, well, have you guys ever thought about doing a show? And I was like, no, but that sounds like really fun and really awesome. And maybe that can help, get this cookbook out there sooner. So I was like, yep, like we're on board. I took the idea to Allie, and she was like, yeah, let's do this 100%. It sounds amazing. And he's been extremely instrumental and super vital in the success of Girls Gone Veg and in the production crew that he's put together to come up here and film us. And everyone has been super nice and super helpful and making us feel very comfortable on camera. I'm naturally an introvert, so like I'm just like, like I kind of freeze up on the camera, but Allie is so good and so personable and like so outgoing. So she makes me feel so comfortable. And we've released 4 episodes so far. We have 4 more that are gonna come out. And you know, we have Brandon on there. We have his chef. We have some of our teammates. We have a professional golfer. So we have a lot of fun doing it. It's like just 2 best friends coming together and cooking and getting to know someone else. And yeah, it's been awesome.
Well, Toni, let me tell you, the more you do it, the easier it's going to get. And the better you guys are going to get. And I want you to know, you guys are already doing a phenomenal job. I watched a couple of the episodes. I watched the one where Toni, I think you made Allie your soccer scramble.
Ooh. Oh yeah.
Which looked absolutely
scramble so good.
And it was interesting for me to learn, Toni, that your feet sweat a lot. And
oh my gosh. Yes. So I'm always wearing socks. She really called me out, didn't she?
She did. I was like, wait, you're in the Crocs. You're like, no, my feet sweat too much. I'm like, well, why not wear your socks and then put them in the Crocs?
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, that's
even taller. And I use my Crocs as a bit of a
right.
A platform.
So I can see.
And so you had Marta on there. I think I saw Marta in one of the episodes.
Yeah, Marta, Sid. We have a legend on the Canadian national team coming up soon. Yeah. So, and everyone has so many cool stories and things to talk about. And I think it gives Toni and me a chance too to let the viewers get to know us a little bit. And I think that's why we wanted to have this show to kind of, build our brand and show what we're all about, so that when we do launch this cookbook too, people will know what they're getting and hopefully will just buy a million copies.
So the cookbook is still a thing that you guys let go of. So
in the works.
Good. So you're doing the cookbook and you're doing the show and you're doing the soccer.
Yeah, that's what's paying the bills.
You guys you're pretty maxed out right now.
Yeah, busy.
It's a good thing. It's a really good thing. So if you guys don't mind me asking, how old are you guys? Because you look really spectacular.
Oh wow!
Thank you.
I'm 30. Oh, and I'm 31.
Okay, you're 31. How old did you say you were, Allie?
33.
Okay, so you said you were the older one by 2 years, which doesn't sound much at all. But tell me this: what is the lifespan of a professional female soccer player typically? How much longer do you guys want to go?
As long as my body will allow. We have, I feel like, what's the oldest owl in our league? Like 40? No, late 30s, I would say.
Yeah, one of our teammates is 38.
Yeah.
So we got some time.
But there's a Brazilian player who's 40 and she's at PSG, killing it, still, playing for the national team. So I think it's pretty individual, but I would say now you're seeing more players play through their 30s. I think now with the salaries being a little bit higher, because that's obviously a big issue, is being able to sustain this lifestyle. If you want to have a family, there was nothing in place in terms of maternity leave or support for mothers previously. So that's something that different leagues are working on, that FIFA has now put a policy in place. So there are a lot of factors for female athletes. And I think with soccer now, in terms of, obviously we're speaking about nutrition and how our bodies can handle the constant, the running, the tackles, the jumping, the 90-minute games back to back. We had 3 games last week. So that's where kind of that individual, obviously injuries, ACLs are very common in women. So ACL injuries. So it depends, but I would say it's really cool. This generation, our generation, we're hanging on. And I think too. Yeah. And women are having children later and later, or not having children. So I think the opportunities are more now than ever before. And it's something that we're fighting for constantly to make sure that the next generation has it even better, and hopefully can have even longer and better careers in terms of being paid and the conditions and the resources. So yeah, Toni and I are going to hold on as long as possible, because I mean, we love it and we have this amazing life. And I think we're lucky that we've been able to have these long careers and be active players right now when women's soccer is like at the highest level that it's ever been. The 2019 World Cup showed records in terms of viewership and fans and engagement. And even the Challenge Cup last year, the NWSL, first time having this season, it was the first professional sport back after COVID, and like blew all of these previous viewership records like out of the water. So I think the interest is there, and we're of course fighting for more media, more attention, more coverage. But you know, I love it and want to certainly keep doing it as long as possible.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you guys are doing the right thing. And as you know, I mean, if you can optimize your nutrition, which you guys are doing, it will help extend the longevity of your career. You know, I could see you guys going until your early 40s if you wanted.
Wow.
Yeah. You know, just to kind of let you guys know. So before I was a firefighter, I was a professional triathlete. So I ran, swam, and biked, and went gallivanting all over the globe doing that. And I did that for a good 10 years full time until I was about 30, almost 34. And then I transitioned to becoming a firefighter. You know, after this career as being an athlete, you know, as you guys know, a desk job is like, oh no, I can't. That sounds like a slow, painful death. So I became the firefighter. But while I was a firefighter for almost 8-9 more years, I also was still competing as a world-class triathlete. And it was just, it was a beautiful thing. So almost until I was 43, 44.
Wow,
right?
amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
10 more years, Toni.
Whew.
But the news is what I like is that you can then, for the most part, get out when you think it's time. Right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think that's the dream for an athlete, to have the decision be your own. Exactly.
So I want to know, before I let you guys go kick some balls, what did you have for breakfast this morning? And if you've had it, lunch already?
Okay. Well, for me, my first thing I had this morning was a matcha latte with some almond milk, matcha powder, and blended it up. And then I had oatmeal with some like cinnamon and peanut butter. Lots of water, of course, need to be hydrated for training. And then for our post-training meal, I had like a tofu spinach burrito, some sweet potato, and then I had my vegan protein shake.
Gotcha.
I had overnight oats. So I do oats, I do Ripple milk. I have, I like throw frozen raspberries in there. So by the time in the morning in the fridge, they're all like, blended in there, and with some cinnamon and a little bit of agave. And then I had the same lunch as Toni, since it was after training.
And so is that something that so let me ask you this. When I refer to the other women on your team, should I say women or girls? Because if you guys are like girls gone veg, do you have a preference?
Or players.
Or players.
Okay. Players on the team, yeah.
So the other players on the team, was that an option for them as well?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good. And so how many players are on the team?
We're about 24.
24. So what would you say of the 24? How many got the that burrito, the veg burrito?
Probably, I would say probably around 5 or so.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There was also vegan French toast as an option, so they might have gone for that.
So was there a vegan French toast and then a non-vegan French toast?
Non-vegan pancakes.
Non-vegan pancakes that probably had eggs and
Yeah, I
something.
think so. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Huh. Who inspires you guys?
Good question. Who inspires me? I think my family inspires me. My friends inspire me. My partner inspires me. I think Allie and I are really lucky to be surrounded by pretty terrific women who are so involved in so many amazing causes and are fighting for so much. And it's so wonderful to see. And it's so inspirational. And I think even, having Marta as my fiance, just the things that she's accomplished in where she comes from nothing. I don't know if you know anything about her story, but she comes from nothing in this small place in Brazil. And she left home at age 14 because she knew she needed to get out to create a better life for herself and her family. And she knew that soccer was the only way that she could do that. And I think just, being surrounded by these wonderful women, I'm like, wow, like there's no excuse, to not show up and try to be my best every day, to give my best in multiple ways in sport, outside of sport. So I feel very lucky to be surrounded by so many wonderful people.
Wow. Before I kick it to you, Allie, let me ask you this, Toni. So you said Marta is one of the best in the world. Why? Why is she one of the best in the world? What makes her good? So good.
I think her determination on the field, her willingness to never give up. She's also very exciting to watch. Very
she can
skillful.
do things that nobody other players
can
do with her
she
feet,
can,
with the ball.
I know, it's wild. It's like magic at her feet. She can beat. Like, I remember this one goal, I think 2 years ago, she got the ball from like half field and dribbled it past like 4 players and scored. And I was like, only you can do that. She just is magic and a really hard worker. And I think, she comes from a hard place. And I think that's so, I think I can see that in when she plays.
Have you been to where she grew up?
I have, yeah. It's like kind of like in the middle of nowhere in Brazil, and not a lot of money in the town. I think when she started playing soccer, she was playing soccer barefoot in like the dirt, and comes from a really poor place, and she's made it.
Wow. Sounds like the female equivalent of like Pele.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they call her that.
They call her the queen. So
yeah.
Wow. Mm-hmm. How old is Marta?
Marta is 30. How old is she, Allie? Sorry. Is she 33, 34?
She's 34.
34.
Well, listen, keep her playing strong. She's got another good 6-7 years.
Yeah.
How about
she certainly does.
What inspires you, Allie? Or who?
Yeah, it's the same. When I was growing up, I had my role models in sport, like Mia Hamm, Kobe Bryant. And then now I feel the same as Toni. I'm inspired by other women in sport, women in politics. Someone like Naomi Osaka, what she's doing, how she uses her platform and her voice and her money, I think is incredible. So I think, it's an interesting transition. I maybe it ages us a little bit, but I think you go from having those players or athletes that you want to be like because of how they perform. But now I'm so inspired and motivated by players or public figures who are using their platforms to change the world. And I think that's something that I aspire to do in however many years I have left. And then also I want to build my platform and my brand and our brand within the cooking world, within the sport world, wellness, whatever it is, so that we have a platform. So however many years, as relevant as we can be, so we can continue to to fight for equal rights and a better world, and kindness to all humans, and equality and love. So I think that's a transition that I think you're seeing a lot right now, and definitely has affected Toni and myself, and hopefully continues to spread through different public figures, and anyone coming up, and especially men too, and anyone who has privilege to be able to use their platforms to help those who don't have a voice.
You guys you guys are awesome. Well, I'm gonna put you on the spot one more time before I let you go dribble. Okay. And that is, do you guys have a favorite quote that you like think about, or kind of drives you day to day? I've got one, and I'll share it with you guys.
Yeah, tell us yours.
So mine that seems to work for me in my life, it's and also with what I'm trying to do now with getting people to transition to being plant strong. It's a quote by Winston Churchill. He's got a lot of great quotes, but this one is, and I heard one of you say it, never. It's 5 nevers and then give up. So it's never, 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 never give up. That's mine.
Love that. Well, I do have a quote tattooed on me by Eleanor Roosevelt. The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. And I think it's just so powerful, and it reminds me that anything is possible if I'm willing to work for it, if I'm willing to put myself out there and believe in what I'm doing. So yeah,
absolutely. And be courageous, and be kind of fearless, and put it out there.
Absolutely.
Allie?
Gosh, I always hear and see quotes that are so good. Of course, I can't remember any of them, but I think I like the quote. I'm not going to be able to say it word for word, but like, people won't remember what you did, but they'll remember the way you made them feel. I think that might be Maya Angelou. So yeah, I think that's cool to think about in sport too, because of course we're striving for to perform and to be the best and to win trophies. I mean, that's the nature of sport. You do play to win, no matter what anyone tells you. And it is important for the community, it's important for the club, it's important for your wallet. But I think at this stage now, like what we've just been talking about, what can you now do when you have made it to a place where you can influence other people? How do you want to be remembered? What is your legacy going to be? Because there's so many trophies to be won. Every league, every game you play in, there's a winner and a loser. Every year there's a winner of a league. Every year there's a winner of a cup. But when you're done, and the people around you, how you made them feel, and the person you are, I think matters the most.
Yeah. So Toni Presley and Allie Riley, Girls Gone Veg. We're going to tune in on the I Am Athlete platform on YouTube.
Every Friday.
Where can people learn and find more about you guys?
So on Instagram, we are Girls Gone Veg. And then, yes, we come out on the I Am Athlete platform every Friday at noon on YouTube. We'll have a website up soon where you can find all of our recipes, more information about us, and some cool merch we're going to have, and just upcoming news that we're really excited about. And yeah, just check us out.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Guys, this has been terrific. Love what you're doing. Keep the faith.
Thank you.
You guys could sign off with me. Just follow me. Peace. Turn it around. Engine 2. Keep it plant strong.
Keep it plant strong.
Yeah. Yeah.
Love that.
Thank you, Toni and Allie. I'm pretty confident that you're going to have many great years ahead of you as professional athletes, but I have a sneaking suspicion that your legacies will be filled with the positive impact you've made on your fans as both all-star athletes and PLANTSTRONG advocates. To watch Girls Gone Veg episodes, go to the I Am Athlete YouTube channel that we're going to link in the episode page at PLANTSTRONGPodcast.com. We'll also link to the Orlando Pride website so that you can follow along with these powerhouses for the rest of the soccer season. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll see you next week with more education, motivation, and inspiration. Thank you for listening to the PLANTSTRONG podcast. You can support the show by taking a quick minute to follow us wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Leaving us a positive review and sharing the show with your network is another great way to help us reach as many people as possible with the exciting news about plants. Thank you in advance for your support. It means everything. Have you had your own Galileo moment that you'd like to share? What happened when you stepped into the arena and shed the beliefs that you thought to be true? I'd love to hear about it. Visit PLANTSTRONGPodcast.com to submit your story and to learn more about today's guests and sponsors. The PLANTSTRONG podcast team includes Carrie Barrett, Lori Kordowich, Amy Mackey, Patrick Gavin, and Wade Clark. This season is dedicated to all of those courageous truth seekers who weren't afraid to look through the lens with clear vision and hold firm to a higher truth. Most notably, my parents, Dr. Caldwell B. Esselstyn Jr. and Ann Cryle Esselstyn. Thanks for listening.